The peace treaty was a lie. Humanity knew it all along. The ink hadn't even dried on the treaty when the first fleets began to move. The Galactic Concordat's Grand Hall was a marvel of architecture. A spiraling, silver citadel orbiting the neutral moon of Virex Prime. Beneath its polished glass floors and gilded arches, representatives from over 200 species gathered, their voices a tangled symphony of clicks, growls, whistles, and speech. They had come to sign the most significant document in galactic history, the Enduring Peace Accord. At the center of it all stood Ambassador Rachel Solis, humanity's chosen representative. She wore the standard black and silver uniform of the Terran Diplomatic Corps, her sharp eyes scanning the room, reading every twitch, every subtle gesture, every barely restrained smirk. They thought we didn't know. The Kyril, with their jewel-like eyes, feigned civility as they shook her hand with their dexterous talons. The Drogharn's scaly faces rippled with false smiles, hiding their fangs behind layers of etiquette. Even the serene, angelic-looking Valen, so revered for their wisdom, held shadows of deceit behind their glowing eyes. The galaxy thought humanity was naive, soft, fresh to the stars. They thought Earth's relatively recent arrival, barely a century into galactic politics, meant they were ripe for manipulation, conquest, extinction. They signed the peace treaty with silver tongues and poisoned pens. Behind closed doors, fleets mobilized, armies drilled, espionage agents whispered in the dark. The so-called enduring peace was a farce, a veil of civility to buy time for a coordinated strike against the one species that terrified them all. Humans. Because for all their talk of peace, they had seen what humanity could do. They had watched recordings of Earth's brutal history, analyzed the endless cycle of warfare, innovation, and defiance. They understood deep down that the species who clawed its way from mud huts to nuclear fire in mere millennia wasn't going to be tamed by treaties. But what they didn't understand was that humanity knew the treaty was a lie, and they had prepared accordingly. It started with subtle moves. Civilian freighters, seemingly unremarkable, began shipping construction materials to isolated sectors. Mining platforms were refitted with hidden weapons arrays. Research stations, seemingly focused on agriculture or medicine, quietly developed exotic shielding, stealth tech, and autonomous defense drones. Earth's moon, long dismissed as a relic of human pride, concealed vast shipyards beneath its cratered surface. Mars bristled with orbital defense cannons masked as communication satellites. The asteroid belt became a graveyard of hidden sensor arrays and drone swarms, dormant but waiting. By the time the ink dried on the treaty, humanity's war machine was already awake. The turning point came at Proxima Relay 12, a remote jumpgate hub vital for trade routes supposedly neutral territory. A Kyril fleet, masked under routine patrol exercises, arrived with overwhelming firepower. Their goal? Seize the station, cut off Earth's outer colonies, and trigger a cascade of panic. But they found the station already reinforced. The Kyril dreadnoughts emerged from hyperspace to face not a scattering of merchant ships, but an organized human task force. Sleek destroyers, angular cruisers, and a pair of the infamous Atlas-class carriers, their hulls matte black and bristling with railguns, torpedo pods, and directed energy cannons. The Kyril fleet hesitated. That hesitation sealed their fate. The battle was swift, brutal, and broadcast across the galactic net within hours. Humanity's ships carved through the Kyril armada like a surgeon's scalpel, precise and merciless. They left survivors, intentionally, witnesses to spread the message. The peace treaty was a lie. Humanity knew it. And now, the galaxy knew it too. Retaliation came swiftly. Drogharn warbands raided outposts along the Helios Sperm Valen. Peacekeepers launched covert operations to destabilize Earth's diplomatic alliances. Mercenary fleets, funded by puppet governments, prowled human trade routes. But for every attack, humanity responded with calculated, overwhelming force. At the Battle of Theta Centauri, human stealth frigates ambushed and annihilated an entire Drogharn raiding fleet. At the Charon Rift, cybernetic infiltration units sabotaged Valen command networks, turning their own drones against them. Worlds that once whispered of human weakness now spoke with dread of their vengeance. But Earth wasn't satisfied with defense alone. Operation Ghost Horizon marked the next phase. Covert infiltration teams, enhanced with cutting-edge bioaugmentation, slipped into enemy space. They sowed dissent, exposed corruption, turned species against one another. Propaganda, misinformation, and economic sabotage rippled across the Concordat like wildfire. Entire systems fell into chaos without a single human shot fired. And when the time came for overt action, humanity was ready. The liberation of Epsilon Serpentis became legend. Supposedly a Kirill-occupied border world, its human population subjugated, enslaved. The galaxy expected a prolonged, bloody siege. Instead, human warships decloaked within the planet's upper atmosphere, bypassing orbital defenses entirely. Dropships deployed armored divisions with pinpoint precision, while orbital railgun platforms surgically eliminated resistance. The Kirill garrison surrendered within 36 hours. Footage of liberated human civilians, waving Terran banners and cheering their soldiers, was broadcast across every major galactic network. The message was clear: humanity protects its own. Humanity doesn't forget. Humanity doesn't forgive. Within the Concordat, fear turned to desperation. Alliances fractured. Species once united in their quiet conspiracy began turning on each other, accusing, betraying, scrambling for survival. Because they finally understood the truth. The peace treaty was a lie. But not humanity's lie. It was theirs. Humanity had simply known it all along and played the game better. Now, with fleets massing, borders redrawn, and empires crumbling, the galaxy faced a new reality. The age of quiet human subjugation was over. The age of human dominance had begun.